And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we are going. We are live, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll tell you what, getting set for a whopper of a race here tonight. We're here with Cora, that's Championship Online Racing Association. Sitting in the booth with me tonight, Kyle Young, famous commentator from ETV Live. We want to send a big happy Father's Day out there to all the dads out there, especially to one young man. That's going to be Ted Manning. Ted Manning usually sits up here in the booth on Sunday nights with Matt Close. Ted is actually in the hospital right now, this minute, with his pregnant wife, about ready to give birth. So wouldn't it be something if before the clock struck midnight tonight that we heard that Ted Manning was a new daddy here tonight. So best wishes to Ted and his family. Matt Close is not with us tonight. Kyle, he's graduating from high school tonight, so he's undergoing his graduation ceremony tonight. So it's just me and you, bud.
Works for me, JD, and good evening, everybody here. Welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It should be a good race here. We got the Gen 6 NASCAR Sprint Cup cars here taking on the 1.5-mile quad oval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Should be a pretty good race, like we always see with this combination.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, joining us up here in the booth tonight, Alan Larson. He is the PR man, public relations guru for Championship Online Racing Association. Alan, good to see you back in the booth with us again.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
And I'll tell you what, real quickly, Kyle, I'll run over last week's race. Now, this was held at Daytona International Speedway. If you don't know anything about these guys, CORA, the Championship Online Racing Association, they go from track to track. They've got about 8 or 9 tracks in their bookings here. But and it can be any one of a combination of cars. The Gen 6 car, we've seen them in the trucks. One week it was the late model cars. But what have you. Last week from Daytona, Bruce Bouchard won, going to the bank, and then Dale Smalley, the points leader, coming in second. David Wenck finished a solid third inside the top 5. Donald King in fourth. And then Chris Scala, he made up that top 5. The bottom 5, Doug Nedgel, Colton Berkey, Daniel Miller, Cecil Reen, and Jay Anderson with good solid finishes at Daytona last week. But Kyle, let's take him through the points this week. And I'll tell you what, Dale Smalley sitting up there in the top of the pile. Dale Smalley, a past champion here at CORA. He's sitting right there in the top, finished second last week, like I said. He's had 6 starts here with CORA. And I'll tell you, he's hanging in there strong in first place. And in the second seat, right behind him, Dallas Markle. And I'll tell you what, Dallas Markle is a car to watch here tonight, along with Vincent Vinny, who finished 20th last week at Daytona. Not quite the start that he wanted, or the finish that he wanted to have, but Vincent Vinny is in third position in the points. And then up 5 positions this week, guys. Bruce Bouchard, of course, that came after that win at Daytona, finishing first. He's in fourth position, and rounding out the top 5, Kyle, down a notch this week, James Brown at 441 points, 148 behind the leader. So that's your top 5.
Looking a little bit past the top 5 here, we got David Wenck sitting in 6th place right now. Gordon Berkey, he is in 7th place sitting there right now. He dropped a spot from last week. From 6th place down to 7th heading into tonight's event. Mark Arthur dropped 3 points after last week's event. He's down to 8th place. Mark Gloy and Brandon Cody 9th and 10th, each of them dropping down 2 spots as well. Looks like Dale Smalley, he's got a fairly large point lead heading into tonight's race. He's sitting 124 points above Dallas Markle and Vincent Vinny, who are tied for 2nd place right now. So he's got a pretty nice little lead heading into tonight's race here.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and send it on down trackside for a special introduction from trackside.
Welcome viewers to Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series. Drivers must qualify in one of 3 qualifiers that run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, finishing in the top 10 to make it into the Sunday Money Race. Each Sunday Money Race will feature 9 payout positions, meaning close to 1/3 of the drivers racing on Sunday will be going to the bank on Monday. The winner of each Sunday Money Race will receive $30. Second place pays $20, $15 for third, $10 for fourth, and $5 to fifth place. In addition to the top 5 finishing positions, CORA will also pay a $5 award to the fastest qualifier, giving them the Fast Cash Award. Prior to the start of qualifying for each Sunday Money Race, a number is drawn at random. The driver qualifying in that position will be awarded a $5 Easy Money Award. The same number will be used to pay a $5 bonus for the driver finishing in that same position in tonight's race. As is the way with CORA to encourage safe, clean racing, CORA will also be paying a $5 bonus for the highest finisher with the fewest incidents outside the top 5. In addition to our drivers racing for the Sunday Money, they are also vying for the coveted CORA Championship. Points will be tallied over the season with the top 5 receiving cash awards, the winner being crowned the CORA Sunday Money Champion. Every time a driver qualifies for a Sunday Money event, their name will go into a pool for a drawing to win a year's membership of iRacing Compliments of CORA, Championship Online Racing Association, the premier series in online racing. Sunday Money Series official sponsors are Dale Smalley Drywall, The Finish is What Counts, Bart, Competition Karting, and Berkey Painting and Sandblasting. Greens Automotive, celebrating 60 years of business. A first look at the all-new 2013 Chevy Malibu. A revolutionary new touch console puts all the information where you need it. Introducing the entirely new Ford Fusion, an entirely new idea of what a car can be. And now we would like to pass off to Reverend Mark Anderson for our pre-race invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you that in your divine providence, you made it possible for us to be here tonight. And we ask you, Lord, to watch over our servicemen and women here and abroad. And God, that you would protect them as they protect the freedom that we enjoy. And now, Father God, we lift up to you these asphalt warriors, these high-octane gladiators who are going to risk themselves for the thrill of the race. We pray that you would increase their talents and abilities, that you would heighten their senses and awareness. God, that you would protect them and give them a race that we will never forget. God, that we can have a 3-wide, door-banging drag race to the checkered flag tonight. Yes. Father, we believe that nothing but good things are going to come to pass as soon as these men hit the gas. So, Father, we pray by faith, with joy and thanksgiving in our heart, and in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and together, all of God's creation says, amen and amen.
And now we'd like to pass it off to our very own Jaden Berkey for today's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now finally, down to Gordon Berkey for the 4 most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And I'll tell you a big thank you to Jaden Berkey for a very wonderful sounding national anthem here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hey, let's take him down through the lineup here. Bruce Bouchard, who won last week at Daytona, starts out in that number 1 position on the inside. Outside him in the number 77, Mark Kuntz. Starting in third in the second row, the 14 machine on the inside, Mark Montanari. David Wenck, he'll be starting in that 40 machine on the outside in fourth. Starting in fifth, third row, Dale Smalley, current points leader, last year's champion in that 69 machine. On the outside of him in the 18, Jay Anderson. In the 54 machine on the inside, Daryl Conkright. And on the outside of him in 8th position, in that number 10, Everett Lane. And starting 9th tonight, 72 machine, Ron McMahon. Donald King, he'll be starting in the 23 car on the outside. Kyle?
Inside of row number 6 in the 5 machine, that is Chris Scala, and Gary Bowers, number 07, is going to line up on his outside. Salvatore Accardi in the 93 machine, he's going to line up 13th. Alan Staring, the 15 outside of him in 14th. Joshua Gaiman running the number 38 machine, a special number for him. I talked to him beforehand. He is running that number in honor of Jason Leffler, who passed away earlier this week. And Michael D'Amico in the 62, starting 16th. Vincent Vinny, the 71 machine, currently tied for second in points. He is starting 17th with Dale Adkins in the 25 outside of him. James Wilkins in the 02 is going to roll off 19th, and to his outside, running out the top 20, the 24 machine of Jose Malbrian.
And 21 through 28 goes like this. Barry Wilburn in the 16 machine, the number 2 of Mark Jackson. Brian Bennett in the number 70, 72 of Ralph Shipman. Gordon Berkey will be in the 17. The 81 belongs to Colton Berkey as we go green flag racing here momentarily. James Brown, he'll be in the 00. Rounding out the field, Doug Nedgel in the number 8 machine as we take the green flag. I'll tell you what, they are all over the front stretch up here. One of the grass, the 54 machine, going for a ride already.
Problems for the 54 of Daryl Cronkright. He gets a hang of his machine, though. Not going to cause too much problem for the rest of the field. He's going to keep it clean and green, and we will continue on here. He will, unfortunately, lose a lot of it, but better than visiting the outside wall here earlier in the race. But check this out. Malik Kuntz in the 77. He's going to make that top side work. He's going to clear Bruce Bouchard, and he's going to lead lap 1 as they head into turn number 1. Again, the top 3 starting to spread out a little bit, and everybody's starting to get single file.
125 laps on the board, 2 in the books already here. And I'll tell you what, Bruce Bouchard asleep at the wheel when Malik Kuntz just drove right on past that number 11 machine. But I'll tell you what, going backwards here, they're putting some distance on everybody behind them. Go back to Jay Anderson back here in 5th position, guys. I'll tell you what, he's already falling way behind here. Almost 1.9 seconds, almost 2 seconds behind the leaders, and he's in 5th.
Caution on the speedway here on lap number 3. A problem out on the racetrack, bringing out the yellow flag. Going to figure out what exactly happened for you here, and let you know as soon as we figure it out. Looks like there's a spin on the front stretch involving the number 70, Brian Bennett. He's got some heavy front and rear end damage, and a couple other cars involved. I see the 00 of James Brown slow on the apron in the middle of turn number 1 and 2. So a multi-car accident bringing out the caution here on lap number 3.
And Kyle, looks like the 8 machine coming off of turn 4 through the tri-oval, and that's a real tricky stretch of road there. The 8 machine of Doug Nedgel just gets out of shape right at the start-finish line, heads for the wall, and that's when I believe it's the 70 machine of Brian Bennett just comes along and almost all but broadsides him right here in the middle of the front stretch. So that started that action here. First caution of the night here on lap number 3.
Yeah, JD, that number 8 machine did definitely get loose as they headed into the quad oval, and that's a common theme that you see here at Charlotte. These cars, as they head through that quad oval, they get very, very loose, and unfortunately for that number 8 machine, he couldn't hang on, and the number 7, he took a very, very hard hit to the outside wall. His night might be done. I'd be surprised if we saw him back out. So some pretty hard hits early on, and some guys' nights ending early, a lot earlier than they would have liked to.
You bet. And we've got a few takers down here on pit road. Some last-minute adjustments. Donald King's one of them in the 23 machine. He's in 12th position. Being shown in 12th position. That'll change, however. Ron McMahon, he's down here on pit road getting some repairs and some changes to his machine done, too. But, hey, we got Alan Larson in the booth up here with us tonight, guys. And let's talk to him for a minute. This CORA Championship Online Racing Association. This is the Sunday Money series, and I'll tell you what. You want to win a trip to the bank? It's $30 for first place, $20 for second place, $15 for third, $10 for fourth, and $5 for fifth place. And Alan, I understand if you're the pole winner tonight, you get a bonus, some bonus money out of it. I believe it's $5.
Yes, that's right. Also, we draw a number before the race, and if you qualify in that position or finish in that position, there's also $5 given. We also have Barks Competition Karting sponsoring again this week the halfway point award. Leader at the halfway gets $50 or gets $10 in iRacing credits.
All right, we'll have to remember that. The leader at the halfway point gets some iRacing credits there, and I'll tell you what, those are pretty valuable when it comes to this iRacing thing. You can buy tracks, cars. I believe you can even pay for renewals, if I'm not mistaken, with the iRacing service as well. So pretty valuable prizes here. So, but I'll tell you what, do you want to win a trip to the bank, you can join these guys. They qualify, I believe, 3 sessions weekly, and see if you can qualify your way in. And Alan, tell us a little bit about that. What does it cost to qualify in for a trip to the bank here on Sunday nights?
Well, it's real minimal. It's $2 to enter a qualifying race, and then it's $2 to enter the Sunday Money race. That is, of course, unless you win the qualifier. If you've won the qualifier, then CORA pays your Sunday Money entry fee.
You can't beat that, I'll tell you what. And if you want to win a trip to the bank, hey, check these guys out. CORA Racing, CORA-Racing.com, and that's where it's at. You get all the news and information over here. And I'll tell you what, tell them JD sent you over here, and tell them look up Alan Larson. He'll be glad to help you out once you do get over here and tell you all about it. But CORA-Racing.com. I believe they got a couple other series running here too, don't they?
We've got a few things coming up that we're working on for the future, definitely. We've got a Border Wars that we want to do, pit 20 or the same number of Americans against Canadians, and do that. And we've got a couple other ideas in mind too of things we want to do.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, Kyle, this sounds like a gang you'd want to join here and have some fun here on Sunday nights. But first, you got to pay your $2 to qualify in, bud.
Yeah, absolutely, JD. That's definitely a lot on the line for a simple $2 that you can pay for a chance to get into this. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw that there are some prizes for the standings as well.
That is correct.
Yeah, we give Yeah, go ahead. Tell them.
Sorry about that, JD.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, we give $100 to the champion, and then I think it's $40 to second place, and then $30 to third, and $20 to fourth place, and $10 to fifth place too in the championship series. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be won out here.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, Francisco sitting over there in the chat room watching this all happen here on Channel 2 on ETV Live. Hey, you can join these guys too over here, and of course, guest 3756, and well, the other guest that's in there. Hey, you can put your real name in there. So if you want to do that, that'd be a big help to us up here in the booth, and we'd love to talk to you while we're racing here. So ETV Live, an interactive choice here for watching online racing. It's the only choice, Cowboy, but we're getting set to go back to green flag racing here again, Kyle. And starting us out this time around is going to be that number 77 of Malik Kuntz. Bruce Bouchard, who got the pole here tonight and lost it early to Kuntz, he'll be starting on the outside in that 11 machine. David Wenk, Mark Montanari, and Jay Anderson make up your top 5 as the green flag is about to come out as the 77 machine slowly leads them down the front stretch. Is this strategy playing out here or what, Cowboy? But I tell you what, that didn't fool the 11 car, Bruce Bouchard, one single bit as they go running off into turn 1.
Malik Kuntz has a slight advantage, and he's going to be able to clear heading into turn number 1. Looks as though the 11 of Bruce Bouchard is going to be able to clear the 40 of David Wenk. I think I saw a car up towards the middle of the field touch the turn 2 wall just a little bit, but he's going to be able to keep it clean and green as the field, they quickly single-filed out throughout the top 10, and it's going to be Malik Kuntz coming out here first lap on the restart, as actually now Bruce Bouchard, he's slowly reeling him in, and he's almost to the back bumper as they head into turn 1.
All right, I'll tell you what, as they start duking it out up there, it's pretty much single file all the way back until you get to about, say, 9th place or so, the 93 machine. That's going to be Salvatore Accardi. He's up here on that top side going past the number 10 machine on the bottom. Now, I tell you what, it could be lane choice, but I've seen guys pretty successful run this top line up here, especially coming off 3 and 4. But I'll tell you, you can go for an e-ticket ride down that front stretch through that trial. Actually, it's a quad oval here at Charlotte Motor Speedway because it's got that little tiny piece that's about 10 yards long, as straight as an arrow. So you really got to be paying attention coming off of turn 4 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But I'll tell you what, the 93 machine hauling ass down the backstretch.
And he's going to be able to make that pass on the outside of the 10 machine. So the 93 is Salvatore Accardi. He's going to move his way into the 8th place position. Slid up a little bit coming off of turn 4 and almost lost that spot again. But he's able to regain control and he takes over that spot. A battle going on in front of them is now the 18 machine, that is Jay Anderson. He lost a spot to the 62 of Michael D'Amico. Now he is currently in a battle with Salvatore Accardi and dropping back into the 8th place now in the 10 machine of Everett Lane. He's going to try and steal a spot from the 18. So some problems here for Jay Anderson as he got up out of his groove there, lost some time, and actually now he's going to be able to drop down in front of the 10 machine of Everett Lane and hopefully regroup himself and try to make a charge back to the front where he was.
12 laps in the book here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 125 on the board, so tons of racing. Oh, as Joshua Gaiman in the 38 machine gets sideways here coming off of turn 2. I'll tell you what, he's sitting here in 10th position, almost loses it, but I'll tell you, was able to seesaw that steering wheel back and forth, get back control of that pony, and get her headed in the right direction. So Joshua Gaiman back here in 10th position, losing a couple of spots, but able to hang on to it. Going back here just a little bit further, let's talk about Gordon Berkey back here, 17 car in 15th position. Hey, put it on cruise control, cowboy. Lots of laps left here. That was his daughter, Jaden Berkey, you heard during the ceremonies tonight singing the national anthem. What a sweet voice that was.
Indeed it was, JD, and actually as we came off the back straightaway there, the caution flag did come out. I saw in the background there the number 71 machine of Vincent Vinny. He got a little sideways coming off of turn 2, made some pretty significant contact with the inside wall. A couple other cars getting involved in, I think, a separate incident as well down the back straightaway into turn number 3. We'll get a replay up and see exactly what happened. But definitely a single car incident there by the 71 of Vincent Vinny. Just got a little sideways off of turn number 2, couldn't hang on and made some contact with the inside wall.
And I believe that was the 02 machine coming off of turn 2. Coming down the backstretch, the 02 is looking to miss Vincent Vinny up ahead. He sees him up there, not quite sure where that car is going to wind up, but tries to miss him, gets nailed in the right rear quarter panel. The 02 goes heading off into the wall, and then here comes, I believe that's the 54 machine, if I'm not mistaken, guys. That's going to be Daryl Cronkright, and the 54 comes along, tags the 02. So start to pile up the sheet metal here at Charlotte, boys.
While the field gets their caution pit stops done here, the field's starting to come back up onto the racing surface after their pit stops. We're going to send it to commercial here real quick, and we will be right back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We'll kick it to commercial really quick, and we will be back.
5,000 plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
And Malik Kuntz still out in front with Bruce Bouchard, Mark Montanari, David Wenck, and Salvatore Accardi. Hope I get that one right tonight, cowboy. But I'll tell you what, just working off of our second caution of the night, the 02, the 70, and the 54 machine involved in that one. And I'll tell you what, we still got a long night ahead of us. 16 laps here in the books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we're here tonight with CORA, Championship Online Racing Association. Alan Larson joining us in the booth here tonight. Hey, the cowboy working up here with Kyle Young for a chance. And I'll tell you, it's been a long time since I've been up here in the booth, but I do get up here every once in a while, and I do have a whole lot of fun. And I'll tell you, if you want some fun, you can check these guys out over here at CORA-Racing.com. Want to say hello to guest 5465. I don't know who that is, but I got a funny feeling a relative of the number 10 machine. As looks like they've rethrown the yellow here, Kyle. But as we go through this, lights are back on the pace car. Let's talk to the guys over here in the chat room. You know, you can sign back out, sign back in with your real name. We'll be glad to mention your name on the air instead of guest 5232. But one of them in there cheering the number 10 machine. I got a funny feeling that's going to be a son or a daughter in there. But and again, a big happy Father's Day to all the dads out there tonight, especially to Ted Manning. Don't know whether he's listening or not. I'm sure he's quite busy sitting in the hospital with his pregnant wife, about ready to give birth to their first child here tonight. And that would be something if they could do it by the stroke of midnight here on Father's Day. What a gift that would be. But pace lights are now off again, Kyle, as we get ready to get this thing started one more time.
Yeah, GD, these guys needed another lap to get reorganized and get situated here before going back green flag racing. Looks like they are okay now, and we should be set to go back green flag racing in half a lap here. It's still Malik Kuntz running out in front here. He's shown his strength pretty early. Outside pole sitter, and I believe he was also second in practice. Indeed, he was, to Bruce Bouchard. So these two guys, they've definitely shown their strength throughout the night so far. In the practice and qualifying sessions, and throughout 16 laps here, the top two guys. So these two are definitely going to be the two guys that I think that we're going to want to watch for right now and see how they progress. They're definitely showing their strength and keeping their numbers up where they need to be.
You bet. As the pace car gets ready to pull off, make that turn, go down pit road here in the 77 machine, that's going to be Malik Kuntz looking for that green flag here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 125 laps. And it is up and out, and away we go with the 11 machine up on top. That's going to be Bruce Bouchard, who was on the pole to start, but I'll tell you what, Malik Kuntz made quick work of that. on the first lap of the race here tonight. But I tell you what, the 11 car fighting back and fighting hard as we get underway. Down the backstretch off of turn 2 we go. The 40 machine of David Wenk, he's watching that battle happen out in front of him. He's sitting back here in 4th position in that number 40 machine.
Hard fought battle for the lead there between Malik Kuntz and Bruce Bouchard. Kuntz through the block coming off of turn number 2. Bouchard had none of that, went to the bottom side, couldn't quite get it done in turn number 3, and now Malik Kuntz is starting to open up quite a bit of a lead. As we're seeing very early off of these restarts here, JD, these guys are taking absolutely no time whatsoever to get single filed and to start to get rolling here. These guys, they know it's a fairly long race, 125 laps, and we're about 25 laps in, so around 100 laps to go here. So they want to get these laps in, kind of feel what they got underneath of their cars, and then once they start to figure things out, then they'll start racing.
You bet. I'll tell you, 5th position here, Chris Scala. He made quick work of the 93. Salvatore Cardi, who's up there on the top side up here. That's going to be Chris Scala. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Scala earning a position there, going past the 93 machine for 5th position. But I'll tell you what, on back through the lineup here, pretty much single file until you get back all around 11th position. The 72 machine of Ron McMahon down on the bottom, just going past, I believe that was Mark Johnson and the number 2 machine guys back here in 11th.
Yeah, McMahon's starting to move up a little bit as he moves his way into the top 10 and has his size set now on the 62 machine of Michael D'Amico. These guys, ooh, I believe somebody back there might have touched the wall a little bit. I think that was the 70 of Brian Bennett. Might have scraped the wall, but everybody's still clean and green, holding it tight here off of turn number 4. And McMahon can't quite close in on D'Amico yet. He's still working on trying to reel him in and battle him for the 9th position, as he's got a mirror full of Mark Jackson and the 2 machine filling up his rearview mirror with a big Bud logo. So some pretty intense racing going on right now, as now McMahon looks to the bottom, couldn't quite do anything, he wasn't quite close up, and I believe we got some side-by-side racing going on right behind them. Might have had a position swap there with the, I believe that's the 17 machine of Gordon Berkey. Might have gotten around Brian Bennett there. But he currently sits in the 14th position as he tries to run down Joshua Gaiman.
You bet. I'll tell you what, as the battle continues out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now these guys are starting to log in with their real names. Travis Brown in the house here tonight. Eric, I think that's Watley. I have to get my glasses on. Wortley. Eric Wortley joining us here tonight, along with Brandon. Of course, I know who Alan Larson is. But howdy, boys. Glad you could tune in. Channel 2 tonight on ETV Live. It's the only choice for your online racing entertainment for sure. But I tell you what, watching Gordon Berkey here, 14th position, again, kind of looks like he's just got it on cruise control. Lots of laps left here. 24 in the books, make it 25 when they pass the start-finish line. 100 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I tell you what, it's all about the money. This is the Sunday Money Series with Championship Online Racing Association. And I'll tell you what, pretty much single file all the way back to the back. Kyle, no real battles taking place. Looking at the front lineup up here as things start to shape out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, JD, and a pretty scary moment there for the number 2 machine of Mark Jackson. He had the same problem that the number 8 machine did of Doug Nedgel at the beginning of the race. He got a little sideways heading through the quad oval, took a little journey through the infield, was able to hang on to his machine, lost a lot of spots, and actually forced the 15 of Alan Staring to go way up high, and he actually might have hit the wall in turn 1 a couple laps ago. But fortunately enough, he was able to hang on, and we stay green flag racing as Mark Jackson, he fell back to 15th. He's trying to reel in the 15 machine of Alan Staring to get some of his spots back and mount a charge back up to where he was. So a tough break for Mark, but he's still in it and still ticking away, and we'll see how far he can move his way back up throughout this green flag run.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, watching back here the 72 machine, Ron McMahon, he just made quick work of Jay Anderson in that number 8 machine, so that will be for position as well as Ron McMahon moves his car forward. Checking this chat room one more time, Eric Worley hails from Long Island, New York. He's rooting for the number 93 car here tonight, guys. 93, that's going to be that Salvatore Cardi here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So In the meantime, out in front, it's a Mark Montanari show here tonight with Chris Scala now in second position. Malik Kuntz bounces back to third position with Bruce Bouchard, who started out on the pole in that number 11 machine, taking up the fourth position. But this fight ain't over yet, Cowboy. Oh, Cowboy, I tell you what, you talk about a trip through the grass, a 77 machine making a trip through the grass on the front stretch there. That's kind of the danger zone there. You do not want to get four tires off on the grass. That's like going ice skating here. It looks like we got a pass for second place up here. It's going to be Gary, or actually we don't. Gary Bauer apparently is going down one lap. So Bauer in that 07 machine in severe trouble as he gets passed here tonight.
Yeah, Gary Bauer getting out of the way and letting these leaders go, letting them race it out. As Mark Montanari, he is overtaking the top spot, and he's starting to pull away a little bit. He's got a half a second lead over Chris Scala in the number 5 machine. And then it goes back to Malik Kuntz and Bruce Bouchard, who Bouchard is having a little bit of trouble getting around the 07 machine, as now he moves high, and Bouchard will be able to follow on by Colton Berkey, the next one to overtake him, as trying to take this lap car over and focus on racing with the leaders, as now it looks like Bouchard is slowly closing in on Malik Kuntz, and he might take a peek at trying to get around him and crack the top 3 here and work his way forward, as the 81 is able to get around the 07 okay, and that leads David Wenk, the next car, to get on around him, as Bauer still sitting up to the top side, letting everybody go, letting these leaders go on by, as Mark Montanari is still continuing to extend his lead, now up to 6, actually dropped a little bit that time, was up to 6/10, now back down to half a second, and the gap continues to close between the 77 and the 11, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, guys helping us out over in the booth, being told that the, now I can't find his car, 72 machine, I kept wanting to call him McMahon for some reason, being told his name is actually McMahon. So that's going to be Ron McMahon in that 72 car. He's inside the top 10 here in 7th position in that 72 Ford machine out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So thanks, guys, over there in the chat room for pointing that out to us. So sometimes it is difficult sitting up here in the booth. We have no idea how to pronounce some of these guys' names in here. But I'll tell you, 33 laps in the books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And race is shaping up to be a pretty good deal here tonight for sure.
Indeed it is, JD, and now Bruce Bouchard was finally able to get the run, and he made the move around the 77 and Malik Kuntz. So Bouchard is now up to 3rd place, and Kuntz now starting to fall back into the clutches of the 81 machine of Colton Berkey. Berkey looking to overtake Kuntz and move up into the 4th position, and she's making his number 81 Mountain Dew machine visible in this battle. And not too far behind them, David Wenk, he's watching this all go down and looking hopefully to try and take a peek and see what he can do with this battle. And we were talking about him earlier in the 72, Ron McMahon. He's been moving his way through the field up quite well. I believe he restarted around the 10th place, as he's working in 7th place right now and trying to catch up to those guys in front of him and get in on some of the action that these guys are having. And still about the same margin for the leaders there. Montanari still about 6/10 ahead of Chris Scala, so those guys really aren't making too much action amongst each other, and they're about 9/10 of a second ahead of the battle for 3rd place with Bouchard and Kuntz.
Yeah, a little bit of a battle back here, Kyle, in 15th position. Alan Starring giving up the position to Donald King and that number 23 machine here about a half a lap ago, so slowly but surely starting to inch forward here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now this is quite the track here, and I'll tell you, the danger zone is going to be the front stretch up here. Coming off of turn 4, you got to keep some left-hand pressure, but not too much on that steering wheel, because it'll throw you for a loop and get that slingshot effect coming off turn 4 through that. Actually, they call it a quad oval. I keep wanting to call it a tri-oval. But and then down to the bottom, you want to hug that apron line down there coming off of turn 2. Down the backstretch, lickety split, going into turn 3. Come off of turn 4 and then start it all over again here. 38th position, or 13th position back here, watching the 38 machine of Joshua Gaiman. Was putting the pressure on the 55, but it looks like the 38 machine almost getting sideways coming off the turn. Had to woe it up there a little bit, Cowboy, and slow that pony down. But Not a whole lot of battles happening out here on the track. They're just slowly but surely trying to inch forward. We've got one shaping up here. Actually, that's not a battle shaping up. Barry Wilburn, let's put it up to the 25th position, 16 car, having some difficulties here at Charlotte. That's going to be 4 laps down for Barry and getting out of the way for the leaders coming off of turn 2. So lets the 14 machine go by on the bottom. Smart move there, stay out of trouble. And Mark Montanari holding down the lead.
Holding down the lead, JD, but not by much. He lost his comforting gap there that he had over Chris Scala, as that's now down to 2/10. And just behind Scala is Bruce Bouchard. He's able to close up on these two. So now it's a 3-car battle for the lead, as Montanari, Bouchard, and Scala, they are all able to clear the 16 machine, as now the 3 of them can battle for the lead themselves. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if maybe that lap car kind of caused Montanari to lose that lead that he had over Scala, as now it kind of looks like he's starting to pull away from Scala a little bit, but Bouchard is not, he's not giving up at all on the 5 machine. He wants that second spot, and he wants it bad.
You bet. And trying to get some information, actually having some information passed to me here, but I tell you, as the race goes on, we kind of missed an important thing here. We were going to try to do it on lap 38, but Kyle, if we haven't heard, if a lot of people haven't heard yet, Jason Leffler was killed in a racing incident here just this last week. And Jason Leffler, of course, a nationwide driver for in the NASCAR series, watching him every week. Jason Leffler lost his life. I don't recall the track. Kyle, you might be able to help me out with that, but I believe it was in an open wheel sprint car, one of the winged sprint cars, and unfortunate for him, but a sad day in racing for sure.
Yeah, definitely, JD. It was the Bridgeport Speedway, New Jersey, where Jason unfortunately lost his life. And as I had mentioned as we were going through our starting grid, Joshua Gaiman is supporting that number 38 number in memory of Jason Leffler here tonight. I got a chance to speak with him before we went live on the air, and you know, he's definitely very proud to be able to be holding that number 38 tonight, and to hopefully make Jason proud and show some good support for his family and all the friends and all of the racing fans throughout the country who were affected by this loss. And you know, currently Josh is running in 12th place right now, so a fairly strong run for right now. Hopefully he can continue to move up, but a very, very sad thing to hear about, and kind of reminds us about the dangers with this sport.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, as the 14 Mark Montanari across the start-finish line, we're going to take a lap of silence for Jason Leffler. And as we come off of turn 4, we again want to remind everybody that Jason Leffler losing his life in the race this week. Bruce Bouchard picks up the lead from Mark Montanari while we were remembering Jason Leffler. Chris Scala still back here in 3rd. Malik Kuntz bounces back to 4th position now.
Yeah, we saw there, JD, that Bruce was able to make the pass, and I tell you, he is looking so strong in telling us why he was able to win the pole. He got around Montanari and starting to pull away now. Actually lost a little bit that lap, but he made the pass, started to pull away from these guys, and he's definitely going to be somebody that I hope that these viewers were able to put on their fantasy teams before they they tuned in to the broadcast here tonight, because he's looking very, very strong so far, and if this continues, it could be a pretty good night for Bruce Bouchard in that number 11 machine.
49 laps in the books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I'll tell you what, it ain't over yet, Cowboy. We still got plenty of racing left to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Why don't we step away? Let's take a real quick commercial break. When we come back, we should be getting started on some green flag pit stops here at Charlotte with some of these guys who have not pitted yet on these cautions. So don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back.
Plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with Championship Online Racing. Note passed to me here from downstairs. Daryl Cronkright in the 54 machine apparently is going to call it a night here, having some major issues with that 54 car tonight. Started tonight's race in 7th position inside the top 10, Kyle, but unfortunately has to give it up for the night. That's too bad to hear coming out of the garage of the 54 machine. But in the meantime, Bruce Bouchard back out in front with Malik Kuntz chasing him down. Montanari gives it up, back in 3rd position in that 14 car. In the 40 machine, David Wenk occupying that 4th place spot. The 69 machine of Dale Smalley, your current points leader, and also last year's season champion, going home with $100 in his pocket. He's occupying that 5th position. But I'll tell you what, Alan Larson's got some interesting news here about Championship Online Racing Association. Alan, tell us how you can win a chance at a 1-year subscription to iRacing.
Well, JD, that's real easy. All you have to do is qualify for a Sunday Money event. We run, well, this season was a 10-week season, and what we do is put your name in a drawing every time you qualify. So if you qualify for all 10 races, you have 10 entries into that drawing. And just before our championship race, we're going to draw for that 1-year free subscription to iRacing, compliments of Cora.
I'll tell you what, that's better odds than trying to work the lottery here, but that's pretty cool. Get a chance to qualify, or you qualify in, your name goes into the hat, and you got a shot every time you qualify to win that 1-year subscription here to iRacing. I'll tell you what, that's some pretty valuable prize money here at Championship Online Racing. You can catch more information, CORA-Racing.com here, guys. That's CORA-Racing.com. Check these guys out. Working lap 57 here, the 14 machine. Mark Montanari pulled it off down pit road. Kyle, I got the funny feeling we're going to be starting some green flag pit stops.
Absolutely, JD. We saw a couple of these guys, they stayed out under those caution flags, and they decided now that it's after 56 laps, it's time to get some fresh rubber as we've seen some of the front runners come in. I'm hearing word that Salvatore Accardi also coming in. Looks like the 81 machine, Colton Berkey, one of the drivers coming in. And we've been green flag for quite some time now, so it's not a surprise to see that these guys are starting to need to make some green flag pit stops. You know, a bit of a slow start here, but once these guys got going, they sure got going. We've been green flag for about, well, I'd say 30 laps or so, 30, 40 laps or so since our last caution. And that's right around a fuel run, so these guys needed to get some tires, get some fuel, and get back out there to compete.
You bet that'll be 45 laps from our last caution, guys. Remember, that was back on about lap 13. That was the 02, the 71, and the 54 car, who has since retired from the race. Green flag pit stops underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Of course, that always throws a kink in the works. But I'll tell you what, as they pile off the speedway here and down pit road, 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats, cowboy, for that pony, and then put them down and get them on out. So that's happening as we speak. Right now, Chris Scala occupies that number 1 position out there in that number 5 car of his. Mark Jackson, he's back here in second now as pit stops starting to cycle around here. So a few bonus points being picked up as these guys pile off down onto the apron and make it on pit road. But right now, with 61 laps in the books, they should be able to fuel up, Kyle, and be good to go to the end.
Yeah, JD, it'll definitely be interesting to see how much later these guys will be able to make it off of these pit stops. Some of these guys currently running up front, Chris Scala, Mark Jackson, Michael D'Amico, Joshua Gaiman, and Donald King, the top 5 right now. These are drivers who made some pit stops under those caution flags that we had. So they can go a little bit longer than we saw our front runners. I don't believe any of the front runners came in at all. So it was about 60 laps. We have about 60 laps to go, so it should be pretty interesting to see who will be able to make it. And actually, just reminding myself about that, maybe some strategy going in here for Chris Scala, as we had heard earlier tonight from Alan. Maybe trying to stay out to get that $10 halfway leader bonus before he makes a pit stop, or if he really needs to make a pit stop right here. So he's got 3 seconds. We're right around that area, I believe, lap 62, 63. So Chris Scala going to be picking up some $10 bonus cash for leaving the halfway point, if I'm correct, Alan.
Yeah, that is correct.
And that is correct. And I'll tell you what, Chris Scala still holding out the lead out here. But I'll tell you what, Kyle, you know, if I was Chris, I think I would probably have pitted with the leaders. I'm a Mark Martin kind of guy, and I'm not going to get off pace with the leaders, and I would rather stay with them. But Chris Scala is certainly holding his own out here in that number 5 machine.
Yeah, absolutely, JD, and he might be going for a bit of a strategy move here. If he can make it a little bit longer, might try to stay out there and maybe trap some of these guys a lap down. We're seeing a 10th place on back a lap down, so we only got 9 cars in the lead lap. And if he would be able to do that now, James Wilkins would be the lucky dog, and that would put all of the guys running up front stuck a lap down. They aren't in the lucky dog position right now. So maybe some strategy move going on right there. He's not really losing too much time. Since he's gotten the lead, he's only lost a 10th, and he actually extended it by about half a 10th that lap. So I mean, he's still holding a pretty good lead, but compared to those guys that pit, he's losing a ton. And as long as we stay green, he's okay somewhat. But you know, once he makes that pit stop, he might be a little bit farther behind than he would like.
You know, and Bruce Bouchard back here with Mark Montanari, they're running 11 and 12th right now, 1 lap behind the leader up here, Chris Scala. Chris Scala was running with the leaders, so you're absolutely right, Kyle. I mean, if it's strategy being played out here, only time will tell. I mean, we have no idea what's going to take place here, but Chris Scala certainly stretching it out here, being one of those that pitted back on lap 14. Remember, that was that last caution that we had, so he's got at least 14 laps or so left of fuel. So we should see Chris Scala coming down pit road here probably within the next 5 laps here at Charlotte. But in the meantime, Bouchard back here clicking him off here in 9th position now. He's got Mark Jackson in the 2 machine the 2 machine on the apron here, just come out of pit road. So that's going to put Bouchard back up one more shot when they come around. There's only one timing line here at Charlotte. That happens to be on the start-finish line. So when Bouchard comes back around, he should be scored in 8th position. But Mark Montanari in the 14 machine staying right with them here. Those are your 2 leaders coming into the pit stops. Green flag pit stops here at Charlotte. So 68 laps in the books. Still a lot of racing left to do here at Charlotte. And this could be anybody's race here tonight for sure.
Absolutely, JD, and especially if we do end up getting a caution here while we're in the mix of green flag pit stops, that'll shake absolutely everything up. As we currently have 6 cars on the lead lap, as more cars behind our leader Chris Gala start to come in and make pit stops. Once he comes in, it should kind of shake some things up back to the way it was. Mark Jackson made a pit stop. He was the second place holder when he came in, so now Scala's lead up to 7.5 seconds, more than 7.5 seconds right now, as he's just ticking away the laps right now and hoping that maybe that strategy plan will work out for him. Maybe somebody touch the apron or touch the track while on the apron, maybe get a little loose and lose control, spin out, coming back onto the track. But we'll see how this works for him, and you know, we'll definitely have to pick up on his progress after he makes his pit stop and where he falls in line, as that actually looks to be happening right now. Leader Chris Gala, number 5, making his way down on the pit road.
And I believe the 62 machine of Michael D'Amico going to follow him down as well. D'Amico about 7 seconds behind Scala, however, but Michael D'Amico and that 62 machine making his way down pit road as well. So, you know, this is going to bring Bouchard and Montanari just that much closer. They're in 6th and 7th position, respectively. And I got a funny feeling Donald King, actually Donald King is on pit road making his stop. Dale Atkins, he'll be coming around next. And that will send Bouchard and Montanari back up to the front on the lead lap. Looking over here in the chat room one more time, want to apologize to the guys over here, especially Eric Warley. He wasn't able to get a chance over here earlier, but I know you wanted me to mention All Hours Racing, Long Island, New York. I believe that's what you're trying to get out there. Usually we charge $20 for making mentions like that, but I'll do it for you for free here tonight on ETV Live. ETV Live, it's the best choice, Cowboy. Glad you're tuning in here tonight. So on Travis Brown, I said hi to you all night long, Cowboy. What are you doing?
I'm wondering if Chris Scala, the 62, the 38, and Donald King there, I'm wondering if that was a bit of a strategic move. I'm seeing that all of those guys, they're running the exact same paint scheme, so I'm going to assume that they're teammates, and I'm sure some team communication going on between those guys to stay out, get a shot at some TV time, which they definitely did do, and you know, see what they could do. So I'm going to assume it was a strategic move by those guys, as like I said, I guess that their teammates running similar paint schemes. One car left to make their pit stop. That is the 25 machine of Dale Adkins. He is currently a race leader as he pounds the wall off at turn number 4. And oh wow, he almost got it again in the center of the triangle at the start-finish line. He has a 6-second lead over Bruce Bouchard, and then that would wrap up the pit cycle. So Dale Adkins in the 25 right now, the lone car left to pit, struggling out there a little bit. We'll see. I would assume he'd come down here pretty soon if he's having some problems.
Absolutely. As we keep an eye on that number 25 machine, Bruce Bouchard working his way back up to the front with Mark Montanari in tow. Malik Kuntz not far behind. He's about 5 or 6 seconds in back of Bouchard and Montanari back here. But what about ETV Live, Cowboy? I'll tell you what, it's the only choice in simulation auto racing broadcasting since 2008. ETV Live has produced over 700 shows for over 250,000 viewers. ETV Live has pioneered and engineered some of the best innovations in online autosports broadcasting. With 3 pricing packages available, book yours today. The industry experts, ETV Live, it's the only choice, Cowboy. You can contact us at etv-eplay.net or ETV Live at etv-eplay.net. And I tell you what, we've got Laura Lawson pushing the buttons for us in the cameras downstairs in the production hall tonight, doing a fantastic job. But I'll tell you what, in the meantime, Dale Adkins making his way down pit road. Kyle, that's going to bring Bouchard and Montanari back to the front.
Indeed it is, JD, and this will finish up our pit sequence. And it finished the way it started. Bruce Bouchard and Mark Montanari 1-2. And those guys did a hell of a job with their pit stops. They were pretty much the same gap between each other when they went in. Malik Kuntz, Colton Berkey, David Wenk, they lost a little bit. They're about 6 seconds back from these guys. But those top two, they definitely got the right time on pit road, and they were able to get some great pit stops, and they stuck with each other quite well. Montanari made a little bit of a slip up in 3 and 4 right there, lost about a tenth or two. So opening that gap up a little bit is now Bruce Bouchard dealing with lap traffic. The number 02 machine gives way. That's James Wilkins. He was involved in one of the 2 cautions earlier on tonight, still having some struggles. But just a phenomenal job by Bruce Bouchard and Mark Montanari in the pits as coming to complete lap 79 of 125. If it stays green, which it looks like we're set in for a fairly long green flag run, as we've been green flagged for about 70 laps or so almost. If this continues, it's going to come down to these 2 guys to fight it out for the win.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, back here in 3rd position, the number 77 machine, the Malik Kuntz, he's about 6.5 seconds behind these guys, Kyle. And I'll tell you, now it's time, during the race, we're going to start paying attention more to lap times as we watch Malik Kuntz here cross the start-finish line with a 29.637 compares to a 29.299 to Bruce Bouchard out there in front. So Malik got his work cut out for him if he hopes to catch up to the rest of the field. Colton Berkey held on the heels of Malik Kuntz up here in that 81 machine. Colton Berkey, I believe that's the son of Gordon Berkey, maybe the older brother of Jaden Berkey, who sung the national anthem for us here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But let's go all the way to the back here. Your points leader, Dale Smalley, the 69 machine, back here in 15th position, Cowboy, 28 seconds behind the leader. I'll tell you what, if he has any hopes of being up in front by the time this thing ends tonight, he's got to put the gas pedal down and move that 69 machine of his forward just a few more notches. But Gordon Berkey, your first car 1 lap down in the 17 machine, scored in 16th position. He's got his work cut out for him too. Hopefully a caution will fly. Actually, his luck just ran out with Ron McMahon in the well, you know what, Gordon Berkey may come out just right because Ron McMahon is in the pits getting fuel and tires, so Gordon Berkey may be able to move up 1 more notch into that catbird seat for the lucky dog if the caution should fly. But I'll tell you what, the way this thing is shaping out, what a fun night here in Charlotte, and you can join with these guys. CORA Championship Online Racing Association, CORA-racing.com. We got Alan Larson sitting up here in the booth with us. He's the public relations man for this group. But what a night here at Charlotte, guys.
Absolutely. This has been fun, but you think this is fun, wait till next week when we bring the legends up to USA.
the legends of USA. I told you, these guys get around. They've got about, about a dozen tracks or so, and they'll try out all these cars. So the Legends cars, the late model cars, the street stocks, the Gen 6 cars like we're in here tonight, the trucks. You got to catch these guys on a truck race. It'll be a fun Sunday night here with the Championship Online Racing Association. Laura, I'm back here watching the 71 machine of Vincent Viney. If we can put a camera on him, it looks like he might have been having some difficulties here. He's 3 laps down. Not his usual MO here, guys. Vincent Viney is usually one of the front runners here. He's a known top 10 finisher here, and it's unusual to see Vincent Viney this far back, especially here at Charlotte in that 71 machine. Back here in 22nd position, 3 laps down, guys.
Yeah, JD, it's been a struggle for some of our top point guys here tonight. As you had mentioned earlier, Dale Small, he's currently running 13th right now, and Vincent Viney here, 22nd place in the 71 machine, 3 laps down. Dale came in with a 124-point lead, a pretty sizable lead, but obviously running 13th, it's going to marginal down a little bit. Is now, oh wow, the 71 get a little loose through the quad over there. He's able to hang on, keeps the car going in the right direction. No problems there. We stay green flag racing. But you know, Dale has gone a lap down in the 13th position. Dale definitely going to lose some ground on his point lead. I'm not too sure how the points are. It's like the NASCAR point style here, as we're running NASCAR cars tonight. Alan, how do you guys do the point system here?
Well, it's pretty easy, actually. It's the last place finisher gets 3 points, and it goes up by 3 points each position all the way up to first place.
So it is a little bit different from NASCAR scoring. So obviously the 124-point margin for Dale Smalley, a little bit easier to achieve than it would be for a NASCAR scoring, as we're still seeing some problems here with the 71 machine of Vincent Vinny. That car does not look right at all, JD. Something is definitely messed up.
Absolutely, something's terribly wrong with the 71 machine, as he's backing way out of the throttle. He's way off the pace here. Only 140 miles an hour coming through the turns here. That's going to be turns 3 and 4. And I'm wondering why the crew chief hasn't called him down pit road here to check that number 71 machine and figure out what's going on there. But Vincent Viney, your third in points, shares that seat with Dallas Marco in big trouble here at Charlotte late in the game here. 86 laps in the books, and we'll keep an eye on a 71 machine here. But out in front, why bother talking about it? Bruce Bouchard and Mark Montanari has been their show since about the halfway point or less. But I tell you what, Malik Kuntz in the 77 machine trying to chase these guys down, but he's getting further and further behind. He started out with about a 6.5 second deficit to the leaders, now has fallen to an 8.5 second deficit to the leaders. Colton Burke still right there with Malik Kuntz, and of course Chris Scala. We were watching him. Now here's the strategy, Kyle. Is this going to pay off or not? Now he spent the last remaining laps of his out there during green flag pit stop. Remember, he pitted on that last caution on lap 14, so he had at least that many laps. He stayed out and did not pit with the leaders, Bouchard and Montanari. So now he's 10.5 seconds, 10.6 behind. Is there enough time left in this thing for him to catch up, or was that a mistake staying out and pitting late when he did?
Well, JD, it actually might be a winning move for Chris Scala if this thing stays green. We saw our leaders, Bruce Bouchard, Mark Montanari, Malik Kuntz, all those guys, they came down to pit around lap 57. That was with about, 60, between 67 and 70 laps to go. Now, with Chris Scala having pitted under some of those caution laps, he was able to extend his run, pitting maybe 10, 15, 20 laps later than those guys did. So if this thing stays green, those guys up in front, they might not be able to make it on fuel, because they came in at 57 laps, about 70 to go. They might not be able to make it all the way. Chris Scala is sitting in 5th place. There's only 4 guys in front of him that he needs to worry about, and one of them is just about a second and a half in front of him. Colton Berkey in the 81 is. So if this thing stays green, Chris Scala just might be able to pull off the ultimate strategic move and get into victory lane.
And Colton Berkey in the number 81 machine in the top 10 guys. He was in 6th position. He peels off, pulls down pit road, and it's going to be looks like right side tires for the 81 machine. Colton Berkey on pit road, gas and go here with right sides, and away he goes here. So I don't know, Kyle, you may be right. We may be looking at a desperate effort by Montanari and Bouchard here tonight at Charlotte. Scala may have made the wisest choice as he now moves up inside the top 5, just a little bit closer in that number 5 machine. So I'll tell you what, we're going to keep an eye on Chris Scala for sure here tonight. And of course the 11 and the 14. Don't know whether, actually you can throw the 77 machine in there too, although 77 is about 9 seconds back. He pitted with Bouchard and Montanari as well on the same pit sequence. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we've got more information on the 71 machine. 71 machine making that decision. Crew chief calling him down. Remember, 71 just wicked loose coming off the turns as he made his pit stop and back out on the track. So we'll check the progress of Vincent Viney as he makes his way back up to race speed. But this thing's starting to wind down. 91 laps in the books. We're on the short side of things here, Kyle. And I'll tell you what, who's going to win this thing here tonight? Will it be Bouchard, Montanari, Malik Kuntz, Chris Scala, or could it be one of the guys in the back?
I don't know, JD. If this thing stays green flag racing, I'm going to put my money on Chris Scala. Now, I'm not 100% sure what exactly these guys can get for fuel, but looking at the lap times from like some of the best lap times that Bruce Bouchard has been able to run tonight compared to what he's running now, it's not really that far off from what he's been running all night. He's been running right around the low 29 seconds, anywhere from 29.0s to 29.4s. His last lap was a 29.3. As he hits the line now, it's a 29.4. So he's keeping up with his constant race pace. I don't know if maybe he's not aware of it. He can make it, and I just don't know about it. But if there's any sort of doubt with the fuel, he's not taking it for any consideration, and he's running his heart out right now, trying to extend his lead, and doing that against Mark Montanari. Now, if these guys can make it, Mark Montanari and Malik Kuntz, they have a lot of ground to be able to make up. Bruce Bouchard is looking very, very strong and very, very fast here tonight. It's going to take a lot to be able to get them to catch up. And we got some problems here in turn 1. Vincent Vinny is around. He's sitting there in the bottom, no caution yet, and now the caution is out, and all that fuel strategy just gone out the window. The problems didn't fix for Vincent Vinny as he finds trouble, and the yellow flag is out after just under an 80-lap green flag run. So over half of this race, green flag brought out by some problems with Vincent Vinny. He was down on pit road, JD, but I guess they just couldn't figure it out.
I'll tell you what, you had it absolutely right. Take your laptop and chuck it off the end of the pit box up there, because it ain't no use no more, Cowboy. Whatever strategy you had working out, it's a no-go, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, the Vincent Viney down here in the 71, I got it backed up here on my monitor, coming through the trial, just gets wicked out of shape into the outside wall, can't peel it off. And then when he does, going into turn 1, around she goes for an E-ticket ride, and then takes part of the inside wall with him. So I tell you what, the 71 machine just having all kinds of problems here at Charlotte tonight from the get-go. Vincent Viney may be calling it a night after this one. But you're absolutely right, Kyle. This throws strategy out the window, Cowboy. It's going to bunch them all back up again here on lap 101.
Yeah, some problems for Vincent Vinny for sure. This, as we had mentioned, these guys over here at CORA, they do a lot of different stuff. And obviously tonight's combination not in the favor for Vincent Vinny. It's a struggle. It's going to hurt him in points for sure. But the administrators and the officials over here at CORA, they definitely want to make sure that these guys, they earn any championship that they win over here. They throw them in all sorts of different race cars and race tracks, and that $100 prize at the end of the season is definitely well earned. As we're seeing that Bruce Bouchard making the pit stop here, he is going to come out with the lead. Mark Montanari came out second, and looks like Malik Kuntz third, Chris Scala fourth, and top 5 for David Wink. So yeah, all of that strategy that we were talking about is out the window. It's probably going to be pure machine and man talent from here on out. And I don't know, JD, it's going to take a lot of willpower from anybody to be able to tackle Bruce Bouchard. As that run continued to progress, Bouchard just kept extending that lead. He's going to be a big, big daddy to take down here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, let's find out exactly how much it's going to take. We've got Malik Kuntz on the radio down here. He's in that number 77 machine. Malik, this is JD and Kyle up here in the booth. You copy, bud?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Malik, I tell you what, Cowboy, what a race here tonight. Starting outside pole here tonight against Bruce Bouchard. But now you got the battle set. Tell us what kind of strategy you're looking at to finish this thing out and be the first one across that start-finish line.
The first part of the race I was quick, and then I burnt my tires off. I believe I'll be fine now that we got like 20 laps left. It's gonna be a sprint race, and you ain't really got to worry about fuel, so you can just sprint to the finish.
Was this caution a blessing in disguise for your team?
Yeah, it was to get us caught back up. If we hadn't have got this caution, I was gonna short pit to make up a little bit of time, but this caution really helped out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, you got the 5 of Chris Scala behind you back there, along with the 40 of Chris Wank. Both those guys, I'll tell you what, they got some horsepower under the hood of those ponies. You going to be able to stay in front of them?
Oh yeah, I believe the 2 cars in front of us is gonna be our biggest worry right now. Just got to get by those, and I believe if I can get by those, I can stay in front of them for the last 20 laps.
All right, Malik Kuntz, driver of the number 77 machine. Good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Malik Kuntz, guys, and I'll tell you what, you know, trying to play out a little bit of strategy. Of course, we were talking about Scala trying to do that at the same time, Kyle, but it was a no-go. That caution came out, and that was the end of that. So throw your notebook out the window as we get set to get this thing going one more time. This is going to bunch everything all back up again. But while we're doing this, I keep neglecting our on-air plugs here. And, of course, that just shows you how long it's been since I've been up in the booth. Hey, how about one for HD Radio Network? Home of the ETV Live Radio, the HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, the all HDR classics, country, and more. You can take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed on the Windows Media Guide. You can listen today from hdradionetwork.com or take it with you. Get the mobile app from tunein.com. And also, I want to say in that same breath, HD Radio Network powers the ETV Live radio station as well, along with the ETV Live broadcast station. So, and also Kyle mentioned some names over here in the chat room joining us here tonight. Daryl, of course, we talked about him, the 54 machine, having to put it behind the wall. Called it a night here. Daryl's joining us. Eric in the house with us tonight. A couple of guests. I have no idea who you are, Cowboy, but Jordan's in the house with us. Mario tuning in, and Paul Duchette as well. So good evening, boys. Glad you can tune in. Final laps coming your way here on ETV Live, Kyle.
Yeah, GD, it's a privilege to have all of those great viewers out here watching this incredible race, and I wouldn't want to step away from your computer screen, guys. We've got 20 laps to go when we take the green flag here. We've got some pretty hard racing going on here for the front. Some pretty big dogs about ready to fight it out and see who's going to come up on top. It's going to be a great finish for sure. The green flag is out. We're back underway. 20 laps to go. Bouchard gets a great restart. A little bit slow for Mark Montanieri. Malik Kuntz is going to try and pounce. And he will. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to be able to clear Malik Kuntz into second place now. Montanieri is still up above onto the top side of the racetrack. Trace Scala close to the outside wall. He's not going to hit it. He hangs on. Now Malik Kuntz, he is charging in on Bruce Bouchard. He has got a strong horse underneath of that machine, and he is bringing down Bruce Bouchard, and he's looking to try to get around him.
And a 14 machine desperately trying to make up some time here. Montanari all the way back here in third position, but I'll tell you what, he's losing time to the leaders up here, watching Malik Kuntz put the pressure on that number 11 machine. Takes a piece of the wall off of turn 2 with him. That's going to slow him down here just a little bit, but give him a chance to catch back up here in the middle of the turn. In the meantime, going backwards here, the 40 machine, David Wenk, he sits in fourth position back here as we watch the 14 machine of Mark Montanari catches up with the leaders here. He's right on the bumper of the number 77. That's going to be Malik Kuntz up here, Cowboy. We talked to him during that last caution. He thinks he's got something up here for Bruce Bouchard. Only time will tell.
Indeed it will, JD. He looked strong. He had a bat out of hell run, and that number 77 machine kind of slipped off a little bit, and he is doing all that he can to reel in Bruce Bouchard. I wonder if he's trying to get maybe Mark to kind of bump him up there and see what they can do. But Malik, he had a great one through the quad over that time. He closed in a little bit, especially in the turn number 1, and he's trying. He is definitely trying, JD. Bruce Bouchard definitely not able to get out to the big lead or any sort of significant lead like we saw during that last run. These guys are definitely making sure that if Bruce Bouchard is going to win this race, they're going to make him earn this win. They're not going to lean over and give it to him easily.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Mark Montanari, who started this race in third position, guys, he's doing everything he can in that 14 car. Stay right on the bumper of the 77, moving back in the field here just a little bit. Not a whole lot of action going on. These guys trying to look for a position or two before the end of this thing. But I'll tell you what, they're pretty much spread out. You get back here about Michael D'Amico, 9th position, still inside the top 10, number 62 machine. He's staring at the bumper of the 15. Maybe one more shot, we don't know, but the action happening up here in the front. It is a 3-car show up here, the 14, the 77, and the 11. The 11 has it, the 77 wants it, the 14 he could do with that as well. But Mark Montanari watching the bumper of the 77, looking for a move around as the 77 drops to the inside. Got it covered, Cowboy. Ain't no game today.
Yeah, JD Malik made a bit of a visit to the apron there off of turn 2 last time, but he kind of slipped him up. He lost a little bit of time to Bruce Bouchard, and that just backed him right up to the 14 machine of Mark Montanari. I'm sure Malik does not want him to get by at all, and you know, if they're gonna take down Malik Kuntz, they got to stay single file here and try to work it out. If Montanari thinks he can get around Kuntz quickly to make some quick work of him and get to Bruce Bouchard, then by all means he's got to do it very fast. But if he feels like they're still a little bit easy, then they got to stay behind each other, stay lined up, kind of work with each other a little bit to get to Bruce Bouchard and then worry about racing. But they don't have a lot of time. They got 12.5 laps to go. Montanari's got to run. He's peeking to the inside. He decides to stay behind into turn number 3. He gets a great run through the corner. He might have touched him. He did touch him in the middle of turn 3 and 4. They stay straight and going the right way. 12 laps to go. The action's picking up in the top 3.
I'll tell you what, was that a beat move your ass or what, Cowboy? The chrome horn coming out on that number 14 machine. But I'll tell you what, Montanari gets a great run through the middle of the turn, but Malik Kuntz seems to have the horsepower going down the straightaways. Do they have enough to get the 11 machine, who is about 0.3 of a second out in front? But I'll tell you what, Montanari looking to the outside now. I can't do anything there, Cowboy. He's been looking on the outside, on the inside, just cannot find a way around that 77. 77's got it covered. 14 machine getting a little bit squirrely here, has to back out of the throttle. It's going to set him back a ways. 14 machine losing time to the 77.
Yeah, JD, that's just going to make the effort so much harder for Mark Montanari to get back up to Malik, to pass him and then try to get to Bruce Bouchard. We got 10 laps to go this time by. Bouchard is slowly starting to extend his lead over Malik Kuntz, Mark Montanari, David Wenk, and Chris Scala, the top 5. Joshua Gaiman, Aaron Staring, Donald King, Michael D'Amico, Colton Berkey, your top 10. Getting word that the 71 machine, Vincent Vinny, after falling 17 laps down, he has returned to the racing surface, getting repairs done to that machine. He wants to finish up these last 10 laps, see if he can't gain a couple spots. But definitely the man in control right now, the number 11 machine of Bruce Bouchard. He is slowly inching away from the field and closing in on a victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And I'll tell you what, the last lap before this one, a 28-second, 28.9 lap. I'll tell you what, not enough for Malik Kuntz, who's still working on 29 2s and 3s here as he tries to chase down that number 11. Bruce Bouchard, all but walking away, opens up an 0.8 of a second lead over Malik Kuntz. Montanari, he's fallen back here quite a ways. That 14 machine dropping back to about 1.2 seconds off of Bruce Bouchard. Don't know if the 14 is going to have enough to be able to recover, although his lap time's not too shabby, Cowboys. Last time around, a 29.3 to Bruce Bouchard's 29.136. Malik Kuntz, his last time around, 29.189. So I'll tell you what, Bruce Bouchard has, I think he's all but set sail here at Charlotte, Cowboy. He's looking for that start-finish line and that checkered flag.
Yeah, JD, these guys are going to need a caution either this lap or the next to have any sort of chance at Bruce Bouchard. If Bouchard continues on the way he is, he doesn't make any mistakes, this thing stays green, I think we can safely say that he's going to visit victory lane. He's just, these guys behind him, they don't quite have enough for him. Bouchard, he's got that setup dialed in perfectly, slowly pulling away from these guys, and he's got a comfortable lead coming around here. 6 laps to go off of turn number 4 when he hits the start-finish line this time by. His number 11 machine looking to score the victory, and it's definitely looking like he's going to be able to do that.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, big mistake made by Montanari here about 3 laps ago. and unfortunately, don't know whether he's going to have enough horsepower to be able to catch up with the other two up there. But let's bring it back to 5th position back here. Chris Scala, he's looking to try to get one more here over David Wenk. Wenk occupying that 4th place position. He's in that number 40 machine as they come off of turn 4, heading down through the quad oval here. The 5 car gets squirrely coming off the turn, almost loses it coming into the quad oval, off into turn 1, has to get out of the throttle. Now he's got to start it all over again with 4 laps to go.
Indeed, he does, JD. He had a bit of a mistake there, cost him a little bit of time. Now he's got to make that work effort a little bit harder to try to get to the 4th place spot of David Wenk. Moving up, getting a little bit more money for that 4th place position here, and trying to catch him, trying to reel him down a little sideways off of turn 4 that time by. He's taking a really wide run through the quad oval, trying to run him down. He's just under 4/10 behind David Wenk. He's only got 4 laps. He needs to tick off at least a 10th a lap if he's got a shot at reeling him in. I don't know if he can do it, but I definitely know for sure that Bruce Bouchard looking to bring this thing to victory lane. I don't see how anybody's going to be able to catch him now. Something's got to happen to that machine for Malik Kuntz to take over and win this race. There's just no way with the pace that Bouchard is running right now that he is going to give up this lead and lose this race. He's got 2.5 laps to go before he can do it, though. Anything can happen.
You got that right. You know, I've seen it happen here at a lot of racetracks, but right now Bouchard's got it. Everybody else wants it. Don't know if anybody else is going to have enough to get there to get it. But I'll tell you what, great battle being fought here tonight by all these guys. So Bruce Bouchard may be going home with the trophy, but I'll tell you what, it didn't come as easy as some may think. But going backwards in the field here, Malik Kuntz back here trying to work things out, just doesn't have enough time. The white flag is going to come out this time by for Bruce Bouchard, 1 to go. Final time around here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for Bruce Bouchard. As the white flag indeed does come out, it is in the air. He's got it. The 11 car is going to sail around and probably take the trophy home. Barring anything that may happen to that number 11 machine, Malik Kuntz probably assured a good, solid second-place finish with the 14 in behind. Montanari trying to gain some time, coming down the backstretch, going into turn 3. Too little, too late for that number 14 machine as Bouchard approaches the start-finish line. The checker flag is up and out, and he wins at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bruce Bouchard, Malik Kuntz, Mark Montanari. What a hard-fought battle by these guys up here, and what a race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to get out of town with only 2 cautions. 3 cautions, sorry.
A very, very strong race here. The Cora Sunday Money Series bringing the Gen 6 race cars to Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's Bruce Bouchard who picks up the victory. Malik Kuntz 2nd. Mark Montanari 3rd. David Wenk 4th. Chris Scala 5th. Rounding out the top 5, Joshua Gaiman comes home 6th place. I know that's got to bring a huge, huge smile on the face of him as he was representing and remembering Jason Leffler driving the 38 tonight. Alan Staring, Donald King, Colton Berkey, and Michael D'Amico rounding out the top 10. Alan, it was one hell of a race, only 3 cautions. I'm sure you're pretty happy with it.
Absolutely. What a race. That was awesome. One of the best we've done here on ETV Live, and I got to give a shout out to all our drivers. They did a phenomenal job tonight, and I'm very, very proud of them.
And I'll tell you what, looking down the points here, Dale Smalley had a 124-point lead over, pretty much of the field here. Bruce Bouchard, of course, I want to say Dallas Markle and Vincent Viney sharing that seat, but Dale Smalley, who is the points leader coming in the race here tonight, I think he might be able to hang on to his points lead, but I tell you what, these boys are starting to close the distance on him as the season wears on. So, a little note to Dale Smalley: look in your rear view mirror, cowboy, because they're coming. Why don't we go ahead and take a real quick commercial break here, and when we come back, your top 3 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I'll tell you what, we ain't done yet, cowboy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
With ETV Live, and let me tell you something, if it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in the pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths. Put it half a second over to Wayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
All right, and we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, getting ready for the post-race show here. And I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here on pit road, actually standing down here at the start-finish line with the driver of that number 4 team machine. That's going to be Mark Montanari. I'll tell you what, qualified third here tonight at Charlotte, Mark, and you finished third, but it didn't look like that came easy.
Oh, no, not at all. The setupanalyzer.com Chevy was running great. I really thought I had a shot at it, and I just ate that thing alive on that last restart trying to get around Malik.
You know, I've talked to drivers before that have come here to Charlotte to race, and I mean, you can throw caution to the wind. You know, sometimes you come here, you got to plan on about 4 or 5 cautions at least, so work that into your strategy. Was that part of your thinking here tonight, working with your crew chief, or did you know that this thing was going to go green for a long, long time?
Well, after that first long green run, I actually expected a caution shortly thereafter, and I messed up on my pit strategy just a little bit. I was going to be short on fuel, so that late caution actually helped me out quite a bit.
And strategy does play out a little bit for that number 14 machine. But I'll tell you what, you know, the battle didn't come, it was pretty hard fought. I mean, you had the likes of Bruce Bouchard, Malik Kuntz down there in that 77 machine. What a night for him. And, of course, Chris Scala in that 5 car, watching him, thinking that maybe a little bit of strategy playing out. What was going through your mind when you knew these guys were hot on your tail? Are we there, Mark?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Talking to the crew chief.
Yeah, just going through the post-race. Yeah, like I said, after that last restart, I was able to see a little bit of distance, and David was creeping up on me, but we managed to hold out to the end.
All right. Who made it happen for you, Mark?
Oh, definitely got to thank my crew for that. And like I said, my sponsor, setupanalyzer.com, really good.
Outstanding. Congratulations to the number 4 team machine, Mark Montanari. Kyle, I believe you're standing by with Malik Kuntz.
Indeed, I am, JD, down here with the number 77 machine of Malik Kuntz. Malik, we talked to you before that last restart. You said you were going to give it hell. You sure gave it hell, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Bruce Bouchard just too tough for you, too strong. But still a second-place finish. I'm sure you got to be pretty happy with that. You had a strong car all night, and you're able to bring it home second.
Oh, yeah. That first green flag run, they left me, and on that last caution, I made a couple adjustments on the car. It was just too tight in the center, and I couldn't roll the center like I needed to. It was better, but it still wasn't the best, and I I drove the wheels off of it just to stay in front of Mark.
Yeah, that caution flag definitely brought probably some smiles inside the helmet of that for you. You're running third place. You were really far off of anybody in front of you, and you're able to improve a little bit. Made the second place finish here tonight. That long green flag run though, JD and I, we were kind of questioning whether you guys up front there who didn't make any pit stops under those original cautions were going to be able to make it. We weren't 100% sure if that caution didn't come out. Would you have been able to make it the rest of the way?
Oh no, I had like 10 laps when that caution came out, and I was gonna short pit. I was 2 laps before the caution came out. I was thinking about pitting and trying to make up some ground. I knew I was never gonna be able to catch them, but I could make up a couple seconds by short pitting. But the caution definitely helped out.
It definitely made the race a little bit more exciting for us up here in the booth, and I'm sure for all the viewers out there. A great run for you and your guys in the number 77 shop. I'm sure you got a lot to thank, a lot of stickers, and some people that need to be recognized here. Who do you want to thank for this great run?
Just my crew and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
That second place finisher, Malik Kuntz in the number 77 machine. A strong effort, leading 23 of the 125 laps here tonight, but unfortunately wasn't able to tackle Bruce Bouchard, who is standing next to JD Webb, getting ready for his victory interview. JD, try not to get too wet from the Gatorade bath down there, as it looks like it's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, they're just hooping, hollering down here for Bruce Bouchard. Bruce, this is back-to-back here, coming off of Daytona with a solid win last week, and then come back here to Charlotte, one of the more difficult speedways. Tell us how you did it, bud.
I just had to grab a drink there. I'm sweating. It was hard, but the name of the game really was to be as smooth and as consistent, I guess you could say, as possible. I knew these guys possibly were pushing a little too hard into the turns and burning up their right front, but I kept my speeds and everything, my line as consistent as possible, and I think it paid off for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're going home with the check here tonight and the trophy, but you're going home with a little bit of bonus cash, too. You started out on the pole here tonight, but you had the likes of Kuntz and Montanari and a whole host of others back there behind you. And right from the get-go, from that first lap, what was going through your mind with your crew chief? What kind of strategy did you have played out for tonight's race?
Well, the whole strategy was tires. This track likes to eat tires, especially that right front. And I mean, going into the game, I let a few people by in the beginning. They were faster than me, but I figured I might get the edge on them later on down the road with the tires. And it seemed to work. About 15 laps into a run, just keeping smooth. My tires still felt pretty good.
All right.
I think that was what I think tires won it for me tonight, definitely.
I'll tell you what, tires pretty much wins it for everybody, I think. But you and your crew chief did an absolutely fantastic job managing the tires on that number 11 machine here tonight. Who made it happen for you, bud?
David, my team, Storm Motorsports. We've been getting together and just trying to work this setup out. It's all week long. It's been hard. This setup has been hard. One of the hardest to work on, and I just want to thank my team, Storm Motorsports, David, Michael Churchma, Eric Sharp. Unfortunately, 2 of them couldn't be here, but.
And Bruce Bouchard going home with the
burnout.
Oh, go ahead. You broke up there. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
I think oh, no, there we go.
All right. I think he a little bit anxious, wants to get on that throttle down there and burn those tires up. But Bruce Bouchard going home with the trophy and the paycheck here tonight. But I'll tell you what, $30 richer, actually $35 richer. Second place, $20. Third place, $15. All the way down to fifth place for $5. $10 to the fourth place winner. And of course, the 35 with first place, that's $5 bonus money, fast cash, coming to Bruce for winning the pole. But Kyle, I'll tell you what, 125 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway, that's no game, cowboy. I mean, you got to come here with a plan, and if the plan don't work, you wind up, in the back seat watching this thing. But what a night here at Charlotte.
Absolutely, JD. A great race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, held by the guys here at CORA, the Championship Online Racing Association. Only 3 cautions in this 125-lap event, and a green flag run extending well past halfway of this race. So we had, I think it was about 85 laps or so we went caution-free. It was a bit of a slow start. We had 2 cautions within the first 15 laps, but then we went green flag racing, and boy, was it a great one to watch. The dominant car tonight definitely was able to pick up the win. A bit of a some strategy and a different twist to the race was a possibility there, but that late race caution with about 25 laps to go definitely sealed the deal and probably ensured Bruce Bouchard's victory. Otherwise, if it stayed green, we might have seen another face up in victory lane. But it was definitely a very entertaining race to watch. I hope all you guys out there who tuned in tonight enjoyed watching the race, and I'm sure that Alan Larson down here, I'm sure he is very excited about how this race went. I don't see how he couldn't. 3 cautions, great racing throughout the entire night. Alan, your thoughts on tonight's race?
Absolutely, a phenomenal race. I really expected a caution fest. I really did, and to see it play out the way it did was absolutely wonderful. I mean, that was great. That was an awesome race. But wait till next week, boys. We got the legends coming to USA. We're going to do it World of Outlaws style with 2 heat races and an A main and a B main. So tune in next week.
I'll tell you what, that ought to be a ton of fun. Championship Online Racing Association qualifying 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Money Super Speedway. Actually, it's any Speedway series. And then drivers pay an entry fee of $2, cowboy. And I'll tell you what, you can check it all out at CORA-Racing.com. And it's all brought to you live on ETV Live. It's the only game in town, cowboy, your online racing entertainment network. Next, let's see, on Monday night, we've got the RSR, the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, coming your way from, I think we're from Michigan International Speedway. And, of course, I'm just coming back off of vacation, so I got to get all my paperwork straightened back out. They fired my secretary when I was gone, but I don't know what I'll have to do about that. But tomorrow night, I believe on Channel 1, and, of course, Laura will be back to work. We're going to work her little fanny off this week. She'll be pushing the stream tomorrow night on Channel 1 for that Full Throttle Cup Series at Michigan. So you don't want to miss that race. That's going to be a pretty good race, too. But I'll tell you what, guys, getting out of Charlotte with just 3 cautions, that's a pretty good night for me. This is the Cowboy, J.D. Webb. Kyle Young working alongside me up here in the booth. Of course, Alan Larson, Public Relations for CORA, Championship Online Racing, and Laura Lawson pushing the buttons down there in the trailer. And we're going to call it a night here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll see you tomorrow night at 9:30.